think. What would it take for you to move into a house where a murder was committed? Would that be a deal breaker, or would it even bother you? I've heard a wide variety of answers regarding this question, and if I'm being honest, all of them make sense. Whether you're an avid churchgoer or an atheist with no belief in the afterlife, a former crime scene can be enough to freak anyone out, especially if that crime scene becomes your home. No movie deals with this subject better than the one we're discussing today. That's right, boys and girls, we're finally talking about Stuart Rosenberg's 1979 supernatural thriller, The Amityville Horror. 44 years after its release, and it's still hard to measure the impact this film has had. As it stands now, there are over 30 movies with the word Amityville in the title. And I'm not gonna say all these flicks are masterpieces who have reinvented the wheel, but the first Amityville Horror without a doubt changed the landscape of horror and film forever. The impact stretched far beyond the realm of your typical fright seekers. Everyone knew about this movie. It left its mark on cinema and fans, and all these years later, I think it's time we try to dissect the inner workings of what made it so successful. So folks, wherever you're at in this world, it's time to let go and bundle up in the basement. The time is 3:15 and the location is the Sloppy Pod. We're finally all here together, so without any further introduction, here is our take on The Amityville Horror. Boom! Welcome back to the Sloppy Horror Podcast. I am your host and your scary movie companion, Mr. Christian Ramey, and back again for another week, clapping them cheeks, Mr. Ozark Mark. Ozark, I am thrilled to be here for another episode and what we call the Ozark Mark season. That's because it's your season. You've been picking these movies. You've been picking some bangers, I might mention. And the movie today, I mean, this is... Even though it's your season, like you picked like a massive pillar within the horror genre, okay? So I want you to tell the people, hey, why you picked this movie, what movie we're talking about, what's going on here, what are we doing? All right. Welcome to the best podcast here on this side of the Rio Grande. That's right, boys and girls, it's my season. We're in it to win it. And I picked today's Mentally Ill from Amityville. The Amityville Horror, the original one from 1979. Pillar? Absolutely. Probably the pillar that started it's the king of all the haunted house movies. When you think of a haunted house, what do you think of? Amityville House? Absolutely.
It is up there, bro. It really is so high up there. Like especially when it comes to just horror in general. Like this, there's only so long before this movie gets mentioned.
It is.
And there's been so many like fucking sequel. There's like 14
Dude,
of these.
I looked at that. I want to look that up real quick because now, if you want to watch this, okay, you feel like we're watching this, you can go. It's on Tubi, I believe, for free. And of course all your other streaming sites. I don't think it's on that, but I was looking and I had to go down like 3 or 4 clicks to get to the one that I wanted to watch, the original first Amityville Horror from 1979. And I'm trying to look at all these. Okay, so I'm going to just name all of the other movies that have Amityville in them. It's ridiculous.
Do it!
So we got the Amityville Horror, the Amityville Horror 2, Amityville 3D, Amityville 4, and the Amityville Curse, Amityville, It's About Time. Where are we at? Amityville, a new generation, Amityville Dollhouse, the Amityville Horror Remake, the Amityville Haunting, the Amityville Asylum, Amityville Death House, the Amityville Playhouse, the Amityville Terror, Amityville No Escape, Amityville The Exorcism, Amityville The Awakening, Amityville in the Hood.
What? Is that it?
I don't know. I think it just gave up.
There's more. I just did a quick search, and that's what popped up. I remember seeing Amityville in the Hood.
That was 18 that you just named.
Yeah, there's like 18. There's more than that. There's so many of them. But
now, did you know the guy who plays George Lutz?
Oh, here we go. I'm sorry. Hold on. I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt you there.
Oh, if you got more, keep them coming.
Yeah. So where were we at? 18.
Yeah.
Okay. We got Amityville Vanishing Point, Amityville Toy Box, the Amityville Terror, Amityville Clown House, the Amityville Murders. And these are documentaries like My Amityville Horror. Then we got Amityville Cop. What? Amityville High, Return of Amityville, Amityville The Beginning, Amityville The Legacy, Amityville The Final Testament. Jesus Christ.
Bro, that's like that's 30 movies.
We could do 2 or 3 seasons just on Amityville itself, but
this is what kicked it all off.
Yes, it is. And the reason why I picked this movie is because this movie's special to me, because this is the movie that got me into liking horror movies.
Oh, okay.
I remember being like, I don't know, I was a little boy.
A young man.
Yeah. No hair on my balls yet, but
a younger fella.
You know, I was a younger fella, and horror movies scared me. All right, I was scared of that and the ghosts and all that, so I was scared. But I remember sitting in there in that little brown chair in the family room, and I was looking on the TV, and Amityville Horror was on AMC.
Pissed your pants, didn't you?
No, I was like, all right, I'm gonna watch it. Watched it, loved it, and watching it again, I haven't seen it in a really long time. So I watched it, rewatched it like we do before we do every episode. This movie is a lot more funnier to me now that I'm older.
It always works that way, doesn't it?
Dude, this movie's hilarious.
That's why I think horror fans chase that high. I think that's what they do. That's why they line up at conventions. That's why they rock T-shirts with their favorite horror movies. Because that feeling you get when you're little, it's electric. I mean, I don't know how old you were, but you're a grown-ass man right now, and you still remember that feeling or just a fragment of that. And I think people chase that for a long time.
Because I remember when I first watched it, like, the whole movie is creepy. Like, it's very, like, suspenseful and stuff, and it's slowly burning, and creepy things are happening. All those things are scary, but it's the final set of scenes where they finally show the demon or whatever that's there. And it's like a dog.
Yeah, it's like a pig.
It's like a pig or polar bear. I'm like, what the fuck is that? And I remember laughing when I first saw it. I was like, oh, okay, now I get it.
It's making sense.
Yeah.
But superstar cast here. You got fucking James Brolin he's playing George Lutz, and first off, like that's the dad of Josh Brolin, the dude who played like Thanos and Cable. He's been in a lot of shit, bro. You know Josh Brolin. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about, dog?
I know who you're talking about.
You know who I'm talking about?
I just said I know who you're talking about.
All right, dog.
You got hairs on your head?
That guy.
Yeah, that guy.
That guy.
That guy. I know that guy.
So, anyways, he crushes it. But you know what? I've got to be frank with you, okay? These are facts.
That's cool. Can I be Garth?
Yeah.
Can I still be Garth?
You can still be Garth. Here's the thing. This isn't a scary movie.
It's really not.
Here's why. This falls into a category of movies that fall under the guise of many different movies. Family movies, comedy movies, horror movies. It's not what it's about, dog.
Okay.
It's about being a fucking man and being or a father, and just having no one listen to you. Okay. You can call it Beethoven, okay, where you're a dad saying, no, we're not getting a dog, but you get a dog and it just tears up your shit. No one cares. It's funny that everyone comes to the movie to laugh at your pain.
Yeah.
Ha 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 ha, Daddy just dug up your yard. That's a lot of work. You ever filled in holes in a yard? That's a lot of work in a day. Have you ever had a dog with really muddy paws just come? That's a lot of stuff, and we're laughing at him. Mm-hmm. We're laughing at him, yeah. Okay? We got this situation, okay? He's just trying to fix shit. He has to buy this house, this just big, massive house, okay? He's just trying to be a nice guy, taking care of kids. He's taking on these kids, buying this big, massive house, and it just, from the very beginning, okay? The wife comes home with the groceries, okay? Why, he's chopping wood. He's just doing he likes to chop wood. That's just his thing. He just wants to do his thing. Just leave him be. He just wants to do his thing. But you get out of the fucking car and drop the groceries all over everywhere, okay? Just very irresponsible. I would have never done that. I can carry like all of the bags essentially, like, or at least 3/4 of the load in one, and I've never dropped. And I won't smash the bread. I mean, yeah. These are things that you're just forced to deal with, right? So, she comes over like, hey, Don! Oh, you made me drop it. First off, you didn't. Okay? He did not make you drop anything. There's nothing that was his fault. He was doing something he was doing. So what does he do? He walks over, and there are 2 bags. One bag that was set down after the one bag was dropped. Okay, he just says, you take this one, I'll get the other one. The one that you fucked up and dropped. I'll fucking clean this up and deal with this. And then he goes inside and he says, what's up with this fancy tea? Why are we getting this fancy tea? Why are we spending money on this? Okay, she says, oh, because my aunt's coming. Oh, so now your family's fucking coming over today. Now, what the fuck?
Stop. You know what the funniest part of that whole thing was? Is after he set it all down, he looked in the broken bag. It's like, you busted a light bulb.
Dude, and she broke a fucking light bulb.
Oh, man. Yes, a lot of dad anger in this. It's very hilarious.
Yes, this is.
Why don't you kick off a synopsis for us though? We got to stay on the formula here. That's the formula of the show. Kick us a little synopsis here. The Amityville Horror.
So here's what happens. Okay, we have George and Kathy Lutz. They're newlyweds. Kathy has 3 children from a previous marriage with a husband. He had died. And now George is stepping up. He's a nice guy, okay? He owns a construction company. And they buy this big, nice house. But the reason they get this house, which another funny part of this movie is, they were like, oh my God, it's $80,000. Bro.
In 1979, that's a lot.
Oh, it was, but it's just so funny because it was like a fucking 6-bedroom house. I think it's just this massive fucking house
on the river.
On the river, and they said 80 grand. I'm just saying, hypothetically, if you were to buy that house in 1979 for 80 grand, and you just held on to it and kept up with it, you have $1 million right now.
Yep.
Easy.
Yep.
Like easy.
You just got to deal with the shit that's in it.
Right, but like you could just sell it for $1 million,
right,
and come up and then just get a little condo.
Well, you gotta explain why it's so cheap, though.
Well, it's cheap because Peoples was murdered in there. Like a year before, okay, there was some murders that took place. Okay, a man shot his parents, and then he shot his brother and his sister-in-law. Okay, and then he shot the kids in there. Right, it was the uncle. And he killed the whole family, then himself. But George doesn't care. He's like, look, houses don't have memories, all right? We're gonna get this house. We're gonna have some fun in there. The opposite of which happened. They move there. Shit gets real. Shit gets scary. George, the Shining ordeal. From the moment he's in there, he just starts to get progressively angrier, okay? Just dad anger the whole time.
He's always sweaty. He's cold.
Yeah.
Why is it so cold in here?
He's trying to fix stuff all the time.
Every time he says that, it's like, why is it so cold in here? I don't know why that's funny to me, but it is.
What's also funny is like, I don't care if it is The Shining, Beethoven, Amityville Horror, like really whatever moments that you're having dad freakouts, they're funny because if you had a father, they're real. Like, even A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, like where he's like, knocks his head on the stove. He's like, I tell you, it was the goddamn cherry bombs is what it was. Like, it's funny because you know how dads operate when they get angry. And the mom that's like, come on. And he's just like, ah! Just fucking fired up and angry. No one takes him all the way serious either. And then when you're younger, you look at it like, oh, fucking dad, the mean dad of the movie. But you get older and you're like, this guy, he didn't get no respect. He doesn't get no fucking respect.
Nope, and that's why it's hard being a man. Mm-hmm. It sucks.
So these movies, I don't want to hear, hey, we need to talk more about men's mental health. No, what we need to do is make more movies like this. And I don't care if you label them comedies, family movies, horror movies. We need movies with men losing their shit, okay, under the pressures of the real life.
Did you see that documentary of this girl who decided to live like a man for 30 days or something?
No.
And then, she wanted to live like a man for 30 days. All right? So she did. And then by like day 15, she checked herself into therapy because she couldn't handle it.
It's not fun.
It's not fun.
It's cold.
Mm-hmm.
But we care, and but you're just kind of like raised to, you want to, well, if you're raised right and you're raised to, you want to provide, you want to be able to do all of these things, and you're supposed to be able to do it while displaying no emotions. That's how you're raised. Like, you fall off your bike. I mean, maybe if you're in front of mom or grandma, they're like, oh, but like if you fall off your bike in front of your dad, and it's not, you didn't break anything, what's he gonna say? Get up. Get up. You're
Get
right.
the fuck up, dude.
You're all right. Shake it off. Rub some dirt on it. You're all right. You're all right.
But
And
anyway.
that's the way it is, bro. So that's why these movies ring home.
Yep. So things keep happening in the house, and then I like when his coworker or friend, guy with the business, comes up. He's like, you've been away for so long, George. You gotta get away. You got to sign these checks and get all that stuff. Trying to figure out what happened to him till you discover that this house was the original site of a witch guy. Mm-hmm. So he made that house his little witch house or whatever the fuck. So there's a little portal down there in the basement that they discover. But that bar scene is funny because they're talking, and when that guy's wife discovers it and is trying to explain the witch stuff and all that, her husband's just like, will you shut the fuck up?
Bro, that guy, yeah.
Dude, that shit.
But every aspect, dude, I'm saying you get the home, the problems of maintaining the home.
Mm-hmm.
You get the nagging wife.
Mm-hmm.
You get the children.
Mm-hmm.
You've got the annoying friend. Every man has, every man hates all of their friends and loves their friends, and that's the way that it works. But it's not saying that guy wasn't speaking facts to him. He was talking to him you got to get your shit together.
Right.
Wasn't what he was trying to hear, so he punched him. But immediately, the dude on the floor, what did he say? Can we talk now?
Can we talk now?
Yeah.
And George's like, I'm sorry. I didn't know what came over me.
That's just how guys work, bro. We're over it already.
Where the fuck did he get a motorcycle from?
I don't know.
It just popped up randomly. He just leaves and starts discovering things about the house, but he just left on a motorcycle. That motorcycle was nowhere in the movie until it popped up hour and a half into it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Essentially, that's what happens, and then eventually, you got the night where it's raining. All right, the dad becomes fully possessed. All right, so he goes around, he's about to murder everybody, but he has a moment of clarity. He's got a little shining act of hitting down the door, trying to get the kids, and then he shakes himself out of it, and then they get out of the house. But what do they do? What does this motherfucker do? Get halfway down the street, they're home free. What does the goddamn daughter say? She wants the dog back.
Where the fuck is the dog?
Where the fuck is the dog? Now, real motherfucking man, he gets out of that, fucking goes back into the witch-possessed house and all that shit, and he gets that fucking dog. I'm glad he got the fucking dog.
Tell me you wouldn't stand at the door and try to call it at first, though.
That's what he did.
I know, but it would have been a lot. It would have been immediate. It would have been the whistle. He went in that motherfucking house, though.
Yeah, he did, and then
I would have been like, come on. Let's go outside. Come on. You'd have been
he gets in there, but the dog's down there at the portal. But another funny scene is when he's going down the stairs and he falls through the stairs and he falls down into the witch goo.
Yeah, witch goo.
Covered in it.
It's like fucking motor oil.
This motherfucker came down, is covered in witch goo. The dog starts biting him, but then the dog realizes it's him, so pulls him out, gets the dog. That's a real motherfucker right there.
Saves the dog.
Saves the fucking dog. They get out of Dodge.
It always works that way.
If you were in a possessed house and that shit happened and you left, would you come back for your belongings or would you leave them there eventually?
I'd come back.
I'd probably come back too, at least get some things.
In the daytime.
Yeah.
And probably find a preacher that's not, or a priest that's not a little bitch.
Oh, that priest. He was having a really bad time.
He was, bro. He was, but he was like, when in sports where they have like the All-Star games where they'll have like the 70-year-old MLB players come out and they'll do like fucking softball game like the old guys that used to play.
Yeah.
That's what that shit was like, bro. He was out his game. I want the dude that's like, in like you remember Clubber Lang and Rocky 3?
Mm-hmm.
Mr. T, and he was training in a basement, like doing pull-ups and shit. I want the guy like that, but for Jesus. I want that guy in his prime right now. The guy that's like...
That priest was having a bad time, dude.
Yeah, he was
Got
not...
smothered in flies. As soon as he stepped in that house, he got fucked up the rest of the movie. And he wasn't even near the house anymore.
Yeah.
He got blind. He got blinded. He couldn't see anymore.
Yep.
Poor guy.
Yep. It's because he was, he didn't have that strong enough faith.
I think we need to talk about the scene where the aunt comes in.
Bro, the aunt coming in is by far... So, first off, he's pissed off that she's got to come in, right? But she's like a fucking nun. And she comes and she immediately gets the fucking weirdo vibes, right? She walks in this house, she looks around, the chandelier starts shaking, she gets the creepy vibes, and she says, I'm fucking out of here. The funniest part about this, bro, is she gets in her car and she pulls off onto the other street, and you think, like, in your mind's eye, you're thinking, this lady has pulled over to start crying because she's just had an episode. Bro, she doesn't. She opens up her car door and she starts to throw up, right? But it's like a fucking South Park. It's it's so
loud.
It's so bad, dude. It is so fucking bad and so funny. Like, I know it's coming. I've seen this movie 100 times, but it's still just a fucking like fucking out the car door. It's just too much for me. I lose it.
I lost it too, man. And what's your favorite part of the movie? Is that your favorite part, or you got a different one?
Yeah, that's definitely up there. But even another funny part. So fucking Dad, George Lutz.
Yeah.
He just had a long fucking day, bro. He's had a long day, and he just wants to chill out. And he just sits on his little fucking chair at nighttime, and he sparks up a cigarette, just thinking about his day, right? To Bob Seger, smoke the day's last cigarette. That was about that moment, right? He's right there.
Yeah.
And then this fucking black cat just scares the shit out of him, and he's like, what the I can't even chill out these goddamn cats, and... Guy can't catch a break, dude. Guy can't. This is a horror movie in that sense, where it's just like, oh man, this guy needs, this guy to. And then what's his wife do? His wife, played by Margot Kidder, by the way, fucking Black Christmas, fucking Halloween 2, all these fucking great movies that she's done. But of course, what's going on? What's going on, Mark? Here's what happens. You're a male. And you're having problems, right? You're having problems. You're just annoyed with your fucking day. No one knows what's going on in your head, but you're just fucking annoyed. So your lady comes up, and how's she gonna solve it? Hey, give me attention to my body. Give my body attention. Come with me for the evening and show me attention all night. Will that make you feel? No, it actually fucking won't. I want to be left alone. I don't want to be fucking bothered. Not like have 20 minutes of sex with you and have to sit here and watch a movie or do. It's not what I want. I want to brood in here alone. I want to chop wood. Just leave me be.
He was so stressed out he couldn't get it up.
Yeah, right. Yeah. This man is at the brink of insanity, and you're like, oh, shit, I bet you he wants to be snuggled and touched right now. No, that's not what he wants. You just let him chop his wood, bro. Let him work on what he's working on. Let him figure it out, because you're not helping. You're not helping. And I think that's what's going on. I think that's the crux of it. This guy's just having a hard go at life, He's just having a hard go.
You're real fired up, aren't you?
Oh, I'm telling you, dude, these kind of movies exist. They're everywhere. They're everywhere, and they just have so many different subgenres, or so many genres that they've come out with. But there are so many movies, cheaper by the dozen. This guy's got 12 kids. It's crazy. That's crazy.
That's hell.
That's insanity.
That's hell.
That's insanity, dog. There's so many of these. Tell me, Ozark Mark, what's your favorite movie? Or what's your favorite part about this movie?
I will tell you. I lost it. I forgot about this part. And I lose it every time it happens. So it's going down after George snaps out of his possession. He gets the family together. Now they're upstairs. Now this is when the house starts to like bleed. Mm-hmm. Okay, and windows are busting out. And, you know, everything's getting fucked up in the house.
You're gonna have to call somebody for that.
Yeah.
House is bleeding. I don't know.
But the house is bleeding, so they have to get down the stairs. Now the blood is making the stairs slick. So they have to take their time getting down there. But one of the little sons decides to go for it. He gets like halfway down the steps and then he just falls and eats it on the floor. Like he just flops and eats it. You hear it and everything. Oh, God.
These are parts you're glad to keep in there.
I know. I don't know if he meant to flop. I feel like he was trying to go down the stairs and he just fucking ate it and just kept going and they kept it. I hope that's the case.
What about when the preacher dudes, when they're driving in the car and their steering wheel locks up and they're like, Father, I can't control this. And then the hood blows up Tommy Boy style. That shit, that's hard not to laugh at either.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Yeah, these are just classic parts from a classic movie. Now, we won't go into detail, but briefly, did you enjoy the 2005 remake?
I did. That was with Ryan.
Or 2005, I think it was.
Yeah, that was Ryan Reynolds that did it, right?
Yeah.
He actually did pretty good. It's you're not used. It's actually a film where Ryan Reynolds isn't Ryan Reynolds.
Mm-hmm. Hey guys.
Yeah. He's not being his typical self. And I remember first watching it, I was like, dude, it's going to be Ryan Reynolds as Ryan Reynolds. No, that's not going to work. But no, he does it a real...
Crushes it.
He does. He does a real good job, especially when he's chopping wood. Like, his anger, played it perfectly. When he actually acts, that motherfucker can act.
He must have had a dad.
He did. He played it real perfectly. But I think he's just Ryan Reynolds, and it works so much. That's his meal ticket. I get it. But he did kill it in the remake.
Has your dad ever yelled at you like that while chopping wood or things like that? Like,
probably. Mm-hmm. I mean, but you know, I don't.
Out of you and your brother, who was getting it the worst?
Probably my brother, because he's an idiot.
Well, that's good. That's good. You were the kid that they liked more.
Okay.
Shout out to Joe.
I guess. Oh man, would you own a house if you had to chop wood?
Oh yeah. You know, it's kind of like cutting the grass. It is a pain in the ass to do, but like while we're still young and able-bodied, it is kind of a flex when it's all said and done. You're just kind of like, you know.
Yeah, dude, you'd be a fucking brick house if you chop wood.
For sure.
Especially as much as that man chops. How much of a workout is to chop wood? Mm-hmm. Holy shit.
Yeah, bro.
Holy shit.
But you get axe skills. Mm-hmm. You develop axe skills.
Yeah, he does it. I like when he does a sick throw to the tree. He's like, oh, wait, I still got my axe. And he fucking launches it at a tree.
Yeah.
Awesome shot there.
That's super cool. I like that. So you're getting skills with weapons. You could probably have a cool axe at this point. You know, because that's a dad thing, too. You want every kind of tool that you can think of that you're going to run into.
I love how he was sharpening the axe and his friends coming to him and he's trying to offer him like paychecks or something. He's like, you need to sign these paychecks, George. No one's know where you've been. He just continues to sharpen the axe and he's like, you could tell he's starting to go crazy a little bit. He's like, checks, what's today? It's Thursday, George. It's Thursday. Should have got paid 2 days ago. He's just fucking so losing it.
Yeah, that's a very funny part. I definitely enjoy watching him lose his shit. Mm-hmm. He does a great job at displaying that. But even, he's got to deal with his fucking idiot brother-in-law on his wedding day just losing money he just literally had in his pocket. I like how he's like, I'll just write the caterer a check.
And you know he just died a little bit inside. It's like, God damn it. He's like, I don't have this fucking money.
See, that's why he's losing his shit, dude.
Oh, yeah. And the bathroom scene after that was funny, too, when the caterer
approaches him?
Yeah.
Yes.
He just walks away. It's like, cash. And this guy's over here handing me checks.
He says, look here. You're going to take the check or you're going to eat your dinner yourself.
Don't fuck with him.
Yeah, dude. He's like, this fucking guy.
Yeah.
What are you going to do in life? You know, sometimes you're just going to move into a house. You're going to get overwhelmed with the responsibilities because how did dads make it look so easy back in the day? You know, They're doing all this shit, and you just assumed this is just how it works. This is just what you do. You get older, you're like, what the fuck? What the fuck, dog? I still like comic books, dog. I still like video games. I still like horror movies. And I think they did too. I think that underneath it all, your dad could probably get a chuckle watching SpongeBob. You know, I'm sure you can get it out. Underneath it, we're kids still.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? But wait, there's just that tough exterior. It's like a cactus. Tough on the outside.
Cacti, if you will.
Yeah. Cacti. Cacti. See, you learn stuff here at the Sloppy Horror Podcast.
Oh, yeah.
About agriculture.
Have you ever had a window slam on your fingers?
Bro, that scene. I've had like car doors slammed on my fingers, but never.
Yeah, I've had a car door slammed on my head.
That's like a WWF thing.
It hurt so bad. But there was a documentary about the kid who actually lived in the house. Because, you know, apparently it's supposed to be based on true story, but I think, like, the dad made most of the stuff up.
Yeah, they lied. It was some blood money.
Yeah,
They wrote a book
but
after
he claims that window scene actually happened, where the window did slam on his fingers, and he went to the ER, and there was no broken bones or anything like that, apparently.
Bro.
Maybe it happened. Maybe it didn't. I don't know.
I like to, like at that age, like, you know, little boy's tough or whatever until they're injured. Then it's just the girl scream. Like, you fucking lost it. It's just hard not to laugh. It's just hard not to laugh.
Those old windows are heavy, too. God damn.
Yeah, dog.
That's the
lucky
scariest part of the whole movie.
You're lucky you got fingers.
No shit.
You
That was
lucky.
like a guillotine, man.
Yeah, oh yeah, you could slice somebody's head off with that. You put a razor on the end of it.
Ooh, that's a good idea. You know what else is a good idea? Finding out more fantastic facts about this movie.
Hey yo.
Welcome to the What Do You Know here. This is a segment here where we're here to tell you something that you may or may not know about this movie. Now, if you know what we know, you're about to find out what we know, and you're going to have a we know-gasm. But if you don't know what we know, you're about to find out what we know, and you're going to have a we know-gasm too. All right, now that we got that out of the fucking way, hello there. Yeah, so why don't you tell me something that you may or may not know about this movie here, Amityville Horror. 1979, the original.
Look, I'm trying to tell you some things of what's going on here.
Kick it off.
James Brolin.
James Brolin.
The famous actor.
Brawlin.
Yeah.
Think he was brawling.
Yes, James Brolin.
Brawl
Okay,
your
this
ass
fella,
there.
Everybody's grandma's favorite actor.
Yeah.
Okay. He's up there with the Gregory Pecks.
Yeah, he dusted off a few.
Oh yeah, fish shit. The old ladies.
Swisher, feather duster. That's what it does.
That's what he's got going on. So, here's the deal.
Uh-huh.
Here's the deal.
Okay.
That scene where they bust open the wall in the basement is scary. You know, the lady starts talking in tongue like, you know, it's like a Pentecostal church. She, la 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 la, like she's a demon. First off, I don't, God bless, we don't do that in our house. I don't like that kind of stuff.
I don't bear down walls with red lights behind them.
Look, I can't, God forbid, we find that in our basement. We had to get kicked out of the church.
First of all, okay, if you knock down a wall in your basement and there's red light behind there, that's not good.
No, first off, this is not good. So
I would throw a stick of dynamite in there and run like hell.
So here's what we need. Here's what we need to know, okay? So they bust down this wall, and behind in this red room, it's where, I guess, where the witch guy, that's where he did all his shit, and they put that wall up. But that's where he did all his funky shit, okay? He did all his goofy shit back there. Well, the guy back there, who he looked like? He looked just like James Brolin, okay? They thought, that's what they started to say to the guy. He started to look like the guy that did all the murders, okay? His appearance started to look like him. And the guy you see behind the wall, I guess it's that guy, because he kind of looks like him, right? That's because it was James Brolin's fucking brother. They put a fucking fake beard on him, and they put him back there in the red lights to make him look like the genie on Pee-wee, and he's back there with his head floating.
Really?
Yeah, so that's his brother.
Wow, I thought they just used him.
Right.
I didn't know that.
They wanted him to look,
A little bit off.
Same.
I
but
like what they
different.
did. I think that works a lot better.
Different, but same.
Yeah.
You know.
Samesies.
Samesies. That's right.
That's great.
So, that's a fun little fact about Amityville, the Red Room there.
Yeah.
So, do you have any facts about this movie?
I got a fact about this movie.
Please
And
enlighten.
this fact is gonna excite you, okay? Like when you wake up in the morning and you're stabbing cabin, you know what I'm saying?
I'm excited.
Yeah, you're stabbing cabin your broad in the morning. That's how excited you are. Now listen to this here. There's a scene in the movie where the priest goes in to the house, right? And everybody's out there on the boat having fun time. First of all, this asshole just walks in. I don't care if you're a priest. You don't walk into somebody's fucking house unannounced and start walking around. What if somebody's flipping their bean in there? What if somebody's taking a deuce? What if somebody's doing something they don't want you to see? Don't fucking do that. I don't care if you're a man of the cloth or a man with soup broth. You don't fucking do it. Anyways, he walks in there. He goes up to the room. He starts, putting out his stuff. He's going to start blessing the house or whatever. And a bunch of flies start swarming his ass, right? And they start swarming him and sticking to him and doing all this stuff. Now, this is 1979. Those are real flies, sir. Those are real fucking flies.
Lots of flies.
Now, you're probably wondering how they got the flies to stick to his face.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
know what they did? They covered his face with honey.
Ah.
Yeah. So honey, it's sticky, and the honeys would attract the flies, so they stick to his face. So this guy was covered in honey, trying to bless the house covered in flies.
Whoa! Look here, honey on his fucking face.
That's some ingenuity.
That's creative.
That's some Winnie the Pooh shit right there
Those
on your
flies,
face.
they like honey,
Yeah.
and they get in there. That makes perfect fucking sense.
Winnie
It
the
sticks
Pooh
in
on
there.
your face. Look at that.
Yeah, your face becomes a fly trap.
Yeah.
I like that.
I mean, I don't recommend doing that because nobody wants flies all over the face. But, hey, if you ever need to stick a bunch of flies to your face, just use honey.
It's for a movie.
It's for a movie.
No big deal.
Yeah, that's way better than CGI.
Yeah, well, I
you
like
ask me.
I like this. These are good facts about this classic movie.
Those are great.
I doubt people knew this stuff.
Yeah, do you know any more?
Now, you know what? I think that's it.
That's cool. Two's all you need.
That's it. Mark. Look, here's the situation, okay? Here's the situation. If you've got this house, all right, let's just say you paid $80,000 for it, right? Like the movie implied. Mm-hmm. What's the lowest number you're going to take for it? Because you're going to have to fucking sell it even if you move out.
At least 80. And that, now being an adult nowadays, I understand why people stay in haunted houses for a while. Mm-hmm. You just paid $80,000 for the house.
Yeah, I mean, which is nothing now.
No, but I mean, still, like, let's equivalent today. It's probably like $200,000 or something more than that. I don't know what it is.
You know what? I think we're smallballing here. I bet you if we advertise this, put this all over TikTok and YouTube, like it's a haunted house, make it an Airbnb. Fuck, dude.
I would make it an Airbnb for sure.
You could probably fucking tell
because
people it's haunted.
That's the perfect idea to do it because look, they're in there for like 2 weeks probably.
Even on an Airbnb, it might be overnight. You get some banging while there's some ghosts in there tickling you.
Yeah,
tickling your
people are into that shit. Yeah.
Yeah, have a ghost suck on your toes.
Why not?
Yeah, let's get weird with it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what you need to do. Like if you're in the situation where you're banging. And then you see the ghost out of the corner of your eye. You need to say, this is my house now.
Well,
this is my house now.
It's an Airbnb now.
This is my house now. Mm-hmm. That's what you need to do. You need to take authority with that ghost and let them know, if I die in this house, I'm coming back as a ghost to fuck you up. I'm the one in here now. And I think nobody tries that. Everybody's just scared. You need to scare them. That's what they did in The Sixth Sense at the end. It's like, look, you got to let them know. You just got to talk to them. Let them know. I'm not playing your shit. Okay, you can't keep scaring us here in this kitchen, lady. This ain't going to work like that. I didn't beat you. You're going to have to get the fuck out of here, all right? You just got to tell the ghosts what's up. That's my knowledge of it all, okay? The little bitch-ass priests that run away, the people that get scared, it's not how it works. You got to say, hey, stop right now in the name of the Lord.
In the name of the Lord.
Yep.
I like how they tried to do it themselves.
Yeah, I know.
At one point.
It ended up with him slapping her at the end of the night. Didn't get very godly in there.
Yeah. But they tried to do it themselves. Didn't work.
It did not work.
No.
What incredible performances, though, by them. I mean, for a movie from 1979, it holds up so fucking well.
Well, the reason it does is because it's mainly acting. That's why these movies kind of hold up a lot. Now the effects get a little bit cheesy at some point.
But there's not enough to like turn you off from the film.
No, not at all.
Yes, it's just good, dog. It's just good. Fucking Stuart Rosenberg. That's who directed this movie.
Tell me when another part I loved was the detective, the main guy, the sheriff.
Sheriff?
Was he the sheriff or
the guy like the smoking a cigar?
Yeah, is he the what they call him? The sheriff, the archer, whatever.
Yeah, he's the police officer.
Yeah.
Man.
But he just says the most cheesiest line ever. It's when he goes to visit the priest when he's at the sanctuary when he's blind, and he talks to the father guy who's been taking care of him. He goes, I'm trying to figure out what happened to him and all this. And the guy's like, well, nothing's happening here. He's like, well, I guess I am just chasing shadows.
Yeah, dude, those guys
I don't
are
know why I
funny.
laugh so hard at that.
It's just
It reminded me of TLC. It's like, don't go chasing waterfalls. Same thing.
It's just the dialogue that people have. It's just funny, the back and forth. It's an actor's movie. It's a rich movie, and this is another one of those that bleeds in the category. I'm not, when I say your parents, I'm not just referring to your parents, Ozark Mark. I'm referring to all of the audio listeners, but your parents might not be hip to Terrifier or Terrifier 2. Your parents might not be hip to the Conjuring franchise or, Sinister or whatever. I would say most people are hip to the Amityville Horror. Even people that aren't into scary movies, this was one that kind of took over like a phenomenon. It was like a perfect time frame in the country for this movie to come out, and it just worked, man. It really worked. It fucked people up. I guess a fact that...
I mean, the house just works, too. I mean, it looks like with the two windows in between the fireplace up there.
Yeah, the Dutch colonial home with, like, the crescent windows. Dude, I love those houses, first off. I love those windows. I hope to own a home with windows like that one day. But I really do. They actually changed the windows in the actual house. Because too many people were coming up, and
I bet.
Mm-hmm. But I don't know. It just for me personally, this is just a movie so large in scale. Like even two fucking numbnuts talking about it on a horror movie podcast isn't filling the shoes of just how big this fucking movie is. I mean, we said there's 30 something fucking movies that have come from this.
Yeah, at least.
Just the name Amityville, like what a scary fucking thing. Like that just sounds scary.
Yeah, it does.
Like it has a ring to it. It's a perfect
it wouldn't work
story.
the same if it's the Clarkson Town Horror.
Yeah.
The Jefferson Horror. No, Amityville.
It just works so well, dude. It's very creepy, scared the shit out of people, and the films that are able to. Sometimes when you have a horror flick where it's just a bunch of 20-something-year-olds and they're fucking getting high and fucking, maybe your parents aren't interested in seeing that. Maybe they're like, look, this is a kid's movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you have a family movie, a movie that you can watch kind of with kids and adults and everybody's kind of freaked out, that's a fun time.
Oh, yeah.
That's a fun time, and it's so hard to do. So...
Yep.
Fucking what a great pick, Ozark.
Yep, it's just scary. It's eerie. There's no deaths, well, except for the beginning, actually. But that's like the first part of the movie, and they're not really that intense or gory.
But for 1979 though, it was a little. I mean, Chainsaw Massacre and other slashers exploits had happened, but like it was for a movie this popular.
Yeah, it was sophisticated enough. Like it was.
Right.
It was shocking because like you're killing children with a shotgun
right at the beginning.
Yeah, like that's the first thing you see, but they just had like a little bit of blood on them and that's it. Like you show it for a second, but that's it. It was sophisticated shock, and it works. You know what I mean? Like the rich people's gore.
Yeah.
It's a sophisticated motion picture. But anyways, we've already glorified this movie enough. Let's figure out though how it holds up here in the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating. Sloppy Horror rating, baby, yeah! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please keep your hands and knees in the ride as at all times as you have traveled here to another portal, to another realm, here to the one and only one of a kind, best Sloppy Horror podcast rating system in the entire world, developed by the Christian Ramey horror nerd himself, your scary movie companion. He has developed a very sophisticated system. If you're not familiar with it, it's based on a rating system that rates a horror movie based on a horror movie elements, not a movie in general, so keep that in mind. Now, how are we going to do this? We're going to do this in a series of 4 categories. 3 of the categories worth 3 points. Last category is worth 1 point for a total of
10 points altogether.
That's right. If that is not in your fucking head by now,
I don't know what to
I
tell
would
you.
really like to stop saying that every time. So hopefully you guys get the fucking idea by now. But maybe you don't, so I'll keep doing it until multiple people send me money to stop.
Yeah.
So let's get on to the first category here in the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating, and that is casting.
So, Ozark Mark, I'm not gonna lie to you, dog. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I don't like being lied to.
I feel like this is a 3.
Woo!
These are big time actors.
You coming hard with the trace already?
Yeah, these are big time actors. These are actors that people know. These were family names. These were people, and that was like kind of, you remember when they put Gregory Peck in The Omen? Like there was just like kind of the day and age of that. Even like The Exorcist was kind of sophisticated in that manner, where you just had like theater fucking actors. Like, you remember in The Exorcist, like, the detective guy that was interviewing? Like, there was just so many actor-y scenes in it, and this just falls there. So 3. 100.
Makes sense, because, I mean, this entire movie is acting.
Yes.
You gotta have a superstar cast to make it work the way it did. Blockbuster for sure. So, that is 3.5. No, not, sorry, 3. 3. Let's start over. Okay, so that is 3 out of 10 so far here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating. Let's get into the second category here in the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating, and that is kills.
You're predicting the future.
Yeah, it's a 0.5. Let's just get it out of the way.
Yeah, you get those little deaths in the beginning. That's all
it.
you got there, so it's a half a point.
We have to give it something because there is death. Okay,
So
yeah, there's not a lot of quantity. There's not a lot of gore. Not very creative either, but the simple fact is there is death on the screen, and we have to get it something, and we do it in increments of half points. So, 0.5. Bingo, bango, bongo. So that's 3.5 out of 10 so far here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating. Let's get into the final 3-point category here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating, and that is fear.
Now, this is the category that we try to put the most attention to. We have many different elements because we have to, we obviously try to think in the past too. But I really try to think like how many people's lives have this fucking movie impacted and given them fear and fucked them up? I really feel like this is a 3 on fear too. Is it going to scare the shit out of you today?
Absolutely not.
Probably not.
No.
But would the new Amityville Horror? Maybe the one with Ryan Reynolds if you haven't seen horror movies. So it's like, here's the thing, the story, what this capped off, what this kicked off, this fucked people up. Like this, the eyes in the window, this is a movie that just lives in that category of like, I couldn't sleep for weeks. The whole fucking thing terrified people. I don't know. What do you think, Mr. Mark? I just, for me, this is just one of those legendary fucking movies that...
Well, it has to be. I mean, everybody knows Amityville. Everybody has to know Amityville.
Yeah.
And it pops in your mind when you think of haunted houses. What pops in your head first? Amityville. It does. I think I agree with it. I mean, it is. I mean, I'm sure it fucked a lot of people up. It came out in 79. For those first 5-10 years it's been out, probably did. Probably did.
Even longer, dude. It's like, I even feel like it fits in that Elm Street category of like, people watched it when they were young, and it just sits in there, and it just changes the way you think about shit for the rest of your life. You'll never see those windows the same.
No.
Like if a kid tells you that they're talking to an invisible friend in a house, it's over. That's a wrap, dog. Like, game over. I gotta go.
It is, man. I guarantee. I think now the movie's not scary anymore, but if you see anything that resembles that house, you ain't going in it.
I know.
You ain't going in it.
So yeah, I really feel strongly about.
We'll
that.
go with a 3 on fear based on its history.
Mm-hmm.
We'll say that. That's what kicked it off for a 3. If you think it's scary now, it's not. But I don't know. You could be a fucking pussy. I don't know. I don't know. But so that is 6.5 so far here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating. Let's get into the final 1-point category for half a point each here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating, and that is rewatchability.
I'm gonna go yeah. I don't know the number of times that I've seen this, but it's a lot. It's a fucking lot. Mark, I'm assuming you're gonna feel the same way.
Of course it is. This is one of my favorite horror movies ever. This is what kicked off my love for horror movies, is this movie. So, of course, it's rewatchable to me, and I think it's just, in general, it's just a rewatchable movie. When it's based on its acting and all that stuff, the story of it, the fact that it's, 20, 30-something years, 30-something years old, still holds up.
It's 44 years old.
Is it 44 years old?
Yeah, I mean, I'm 89. I'm 34.
Yeah. So it's 44 years old, still holds up today. So, yeah, it's a classic movie. Classical movies are always rewatchable. Now, are they rewatchable every day? No. But once a year, for sure.
Pop it in.
Pop it in, for sure.
Pop it on. Plug
Absolutely.
it in.
So that is a total of 7.5 out of 10 for the Amityville Horror 1979 here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating right up in your ass.
Yep. I like all this. And I'm going to be fair with you, Mark. I don't think we have to get into your parental guidance because I think there's a little bit of nudity, but like it's like 70s booby. I really think
it's side boob.
Yeah, I think junior high and above would be safe for this.
Dude, I don't know. You can go even younger. Like I said,
Yeah.
I watched this movie when I was like 9 or 10 years old or something.
Yeah, it's not. It
This
fun.
this version of it. I don't know. I don't remember the remake, but we're not talking about that. I don't know what that goes. But yeah, you could be pretty young and watch this.
Now, the beautiful part is too, you don't have to, like you say, you don't have to watch the remake. But another thing you don't have to do is you don't have to listen to this particular episode and hear us plug our Patreon at the beginning, because you're going to hear us do it now, because you've made it through this whole episode with, I can't recall how many advertisements.
Hold on, let me count. Give it a second.
Yeah, get them all.
I don't have a pen, so hold on.
Okay, write those down.
Okay.
Don't miss it.
Okay, hold on, wait. No, 0.
Okay, so yeah, you've made it through with 0. I think that's the number I got too. You've made it through.
That's less than 1 if you're not familiar with it.
You've made it through this whole show, and before we complete this show, we want to tell you, look, we love you guys. We thank you so much for week after week listening to the show. We thank all you guys on YouTube who have subscribed to our channel, like the videos, comment, let us know how you're feeling. All of our audio listeners who listen week after week, give us ratings on Spotify, Apple Podcast. All these things are free to do. But the way we keep the lights on around here without selling our souls to stupid advertisements, giving you promo codes for wellness centers and selling you energy drinks and razors. Instead of doing that, we have a Patreon, and that's a place where we can put bonus episodes. It's almost like an OnlyFans for podcasters, okay?
Except when not naked.
Yes, and you don't know. You don't know.
Unless you ask.
So for $3 a month, you can get all these bonus episodes. There's lots of episodes up on there, and we're not just talking scary movies. We're talking everything. And if that's not your bag, if you're like, look, Christian, I could barely get through all these, well, that's fine. You can go check out our merchandise, and we've got all kinds of ways for you to let the world know that you're a sloppy horror, and you help keep the lights on, and we thank you so fucking much for doing that. So, now that we got that out the way, let's... Mark, we're, at the midway point of the Ozark Mark season.
That's correct.
I'm so happy that this is a good idea.
Thank you. As the producer of this show, and the quality of the show that you love so much, I'm talking about you people watching, I got a lot of good ideas.
Yep.
So I had to just flop this one out here. It just came to me.
Yep.
I figured I'd give you a break, man. You've been working hard over there. You've been picking 90-something plus movies. Hey, we got to give them a little bit of break here.
It's weird to think that, like, I've seen that many movies and to think that, like, I have so many others that, like, we haven't even, like, touched or, like, gotten into.
I've watched more movies in the past years of doing this podcast than I probably have in my entire life.
I know, like, you probably have, like, infinite knowledge on, like, the stupidest and craziest movies, but, like, you can have it, like, if somebody's, like, talking about Sleepaway Camp, you're like, yes, I know.
I would like to join this conversation, please.
I know what you're talking about.
I want to dress up like Ronnie for Halloween.
See, it's a conversation, and I think that's what really makes horror so fun, is you can kind of find somebody in the public that just is like, you know about Return of the Living Dead? Yes, it's such a fun movie. I like, just from a simple somebody saying that movie makes them laugh, you could tell, like, I like your taste, you.
Yeah.
I like the way that your brain works.
Yeah.
You get life, all right? You get how things work,
Yes.
okay?
Those are good people right there.
I know, and they generally are. Like,
Yeah.
if I don't know, if I see somebody walking up with like a Friday the 13th Part 5 shirt on, you're like,
Did we just become best friends?
look, dude, I don't know you, but I would assume if shit starts popping off out here, you and I need to, all right, we need to work together
Yeah,
because we work the same wavelength, dog.
exactly.
So, what should these fine people know going into the next week? Is there anything wild that they should know about your next pick?
Well, let me see if I can give you a hint or something.
Some scent.
A hint. I could think of one right off the bat, but it's probably too obvious.
Okay.
It's probably too obvious.
Give us a decade.
I don't know exactly when it came out. Because I have the next one. I don't know what my fifth movie's gonna be, but I know what the next one is.
Okay.
Well, let's just say it's Just Because You Were Home.
Okay. Okay. I like
That's
that
all
pick.
I'm giving you. Now, a lot of people know, probably, if they're a fan of horror movies, knows what that means.
We haven't talked about that one?
No.
That's a problem too.
That's
I
why.
forget- I
That's why
forget.
I'm picking. See, you've missed them. You've missed a couple here, and I'm trying to catch up. But my goal for the movie after that movie is to try and find a movie that you have not seen. Because I was super excited when the first movie I picked you didn't see. I got all giddy. I felt like I accomplished something. You know,
That's true. I like watching new horror movies.
it's like you beating me at something I'm really good at. You know. So I felt like I beat you there. So I'm gonna think of something.
Do it
for
again.
I'm gonna try and do it again. But the next one you've obviously seen. Lots of people haven't seen. It's another classic, another scary one. But you know, we'll figure it out as we go along.
I like that. I like that. Give you some time to figure one out. I like the first off. That's one of my favorite parts because even like running like live streams, talking horror movies with people. Sometimes people throw out random ones and you're just like, I don't know if like that's my style. You can kind of see what their style is. But people that start to get to know me, they're like, Christian, watch this movie. This movie made me think of you. I think you would like this. And it's like the burden now is there's so, I mean, it was hard to find content. Like if you wanted a copy of fucking, you know, Return of the Living Dead 3 in you know, 1992, you had to go to a convention or like maybe a Blockbuster would sell it to you. You'd have, or mom and pop store. Like you just didn't order the bitch. It wasn't as easily obtainable. But now we have a different problem, like where you sit down with your little fucking pizza and you want to put something on, and you have 5 million options
I know it's so hard.
on one app alone. And
Tell
you
me-
probably have multiple apps,
Now
right?
tell me, when all this stuff first started coming out, everybody was cutting cable, and that was the way to do it. Like cut cable, right? Now after you sit down there and you have to pick what you want to watch all the time, you kind of miss just cable.
I tell you, Pluto's awesome for that. Pluto TV.
Yeah, because I miss surfing. I miss surfing cable and just finding random movies. Because there's random movies that you'll find on cable that you're just gonna watch just because it's there and you have the opportunity. Because you're like, okay,
You're 100% correct. And
because
that's, That's how a lot of viewing got done.
I know. And then you sit here on these apps and you got so many options. You're like, I don't know what to watch. It's like, what do you mean you don't know what to watch? Like, that's just asinine. There's millions of options and you don't want any of them. But yet, a movie comes on that you've seen 10 or 15 times on cable. You're like, oh, I'm going to watch this.
That's what I mean. But it's also nice, too. You sit down with your pizza and you look down, you got a notification on your TikTok, and somebody says, Ozark Mark, oh my God, I just watched this movie. I think you need to check it out. This is right up your alley. You're like, well, all right then. I would have never fucking heard of this or thought to look for this. And then you know, and those usually are always the ones with like the fucking most vague titles. It's just like Bloodgrass. Bloodgrass? What the fuck is this? Like, you know what I mean? You watch it, it's one of the best movies you've ever seen. So we all got to stick together in that sense and make sure that it's a new generation. We're not trading tapes anymore, but we got to, you know, figure out these movies that kind of fly under the radar, that don't have the budget of Halloween fucking 14 or fucking a Marvel movie. Yeah. You know, because there's people probably making really good film out there.
Oh, yeah.
That isn't getting recognized until years later.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, for example, even like Terrifiers, not the best movies in the world, but I love them because, A, they don't take themselves too serious, follows that slasher protocol, but you see someone's passion in there. A Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, Last House on the Left, Hills Have Eyes. These were not bazillion-dollar budget movies. These were movies made from passion. That when Freddy Krueger falls down the stairs on A Nightmare on Elm Street, you see him land on the mattress. You see the stunt guy land on the mattress. Like, there's just things, these fucking heirs, that when they made these movies for cheap, they were not anticipating them to be overanalyzed on a Blu-ray disc 50 years later. They didn't know. They didn't fucking... They thought, I just want something to work. And, like, that's all it was. So it's... I like when a movie operates within itself. That's another reason I like Eli Roth a lot. I think he makes a movie is so scary, like a Hostel, but there's moments where it's like tongue-in-cheek, ha ha ha, this is fucking funny. You know, it's like, it's serious, but it's like, there's also the bubble gum, you know, the kids in hot ear, just like, all right, there's fun to it as well. And I think when you respect that balance, you can really get far in horror. And that's why I'm not real big into the elevated shit as much, because it tries to come off as too, it's like, nah, dude, this is horror. Like, you gotta have a little laughter in here. You gotta have somebody falling off a banister and have a knife go into them, you know. So these are things that we like to do. So boys and girls, thank you for joining us again for another week here at Sloppy Horror Podcast. Make sure that you're subscribed and staying up on everything, and we're gonna be back in that ass next week with another episode.
Oh yeah, get ready for it.
Mm-hmm. So, you guys be careful.
Yeah, we got to go now. Goodbye.
See ya.